The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
New FTX developments, former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried negotiating bail conditions according to a court filing. Joining us now to discuss is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Happy Friday, Nick. So, Bankman-Fried's current bail conditions bar contact with current or former staff of FTX and Alameda Research, something that Bankman-Fried is alleged to be doing anyway. So what are the details on these negotiated bail conditions going on?
Good morning. Yeah, so there's a couple different things going on with that, really. So first off, obviously, as you mentioned, the U.S. government's move to prevent Bankman-Fried from interacting with any former FTX employees unless, counsel is present. There's also a bid by Sam Bankman-Fried's team to allow him access to cryptocurrencies that may be held on FTX. And, obviously the prosecutors have opposed this. So it looks like they're kind of just negotiating the different aspects of, what he can and cannot do. And there will be a hearing to discuss next week. Whether or not there is, a kind of negotiated settlement, so to speak, on the actual bail conditions and what Bankman-Fried can and cannot do with regard to, contacting former employees, accessing cryptos, things like that. I think it remains to be seen. The fact that they are negotiating and they even postponed the hearing to continue these negotiations suggests that, they'll probably find some kind of middle ground and propose that to the judge. Also, the cases are obviously proceeding. The FTX bankruptcy case is continuing, and we're seeing the government say that they don't want to let FTX and creditors subpoena Bankman-Fried's family and other individuals. They're waiting for the U.S. Trustee's office, a U.S. Department of Justice, to do that first, so as to A, avoid duplicating work, and B, I assume because they are a bit more confident in prosecutors investigating rather than attorneys for private counsels.
All right. And from what I understand previously, they took away his signal, or the courts said that he could not use a signal. I don't know how enforceable that actually is. Is that also part of the negotiations?
I haven't seen that aspect specifically, but I know the concern has been that, at least in court filings, they've alleged that Bankman-Fried and his team used Signal to, because of its auto-disappearing message function. So the concern seems to be that there might be communications that are, then deleted automatically through signals existing in app functions, and that might prevent the prosecutors from seeing what they might consider important evidence. And just as an example of that, we know that the message to what appears to be FTX US General Counsel Ryan Miller was sent via Signal. And obviously prosecutors got a hold of that. It's very possible that Mr. Miller was the one who sent a screen cap or whatever. He turned a message over, but the fact that he was using Signal suggests that they have a concern, and they can't say it's not justified because he's literally using Signal.
Sam Bankman-Fried's team also looking to have access to FTX funds and accounts there. And any update on that?
It seems to be part of the same negotiations, and I imagine we'll get a better sense on Monday, before the hearing, assuming they announce some kind of, joint proposed settlement.
All right. Separately, we're also taking a look at a case of YouTube star Logan Paul. He's been named with a number of associates in a proposed class action lawsuit over NFT sales for a project he promoted called CryptoZoo that never materialized. Maybe you can explain what's going on there.
Yeah, so I will say at its core, the allegations seem to be pretty straightforward. A group created NFTs. They said that these tokens would help them be part of a project, that they would, indicate that they would have some value, some use, and then the project never materialized. And we've seen this over and over again, from like 2017, 2018 onwards. So probably before then, honestly. But, the allegations, the conduct at the heart of these allegations isn't new. What seems to have happened here is Logan Paul and his team allegedly created this CryptoZoo project and created the NFTs. And then last month, so just a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Paul allegedly said he was going to burn his tokens, create a rewards program, noted that the game hadn't been finished yet or created, and then turns out that some of the tokens that he burned weren't actually the tokens that have value. It's a very, I'm going to be honest, like I was not that familiar with this case prior to last night. It's an odd case. But the allegations themselves are pretty similar to what we've seen before.
Well, the suit comes after a series of investigative reports by another YouTube star, CoffeeZilla. And I did see Logan Paul's response to that series. And it was basically, you can't dictate to me how long it takes to create CryptoZoo. I'm on a timeline and that it's going slower than expected, but it's happening. He also said that, he had been stiffed by his own developers and tricked. I don't know what's the plausible deniability there, in terms of getting this project off the ground. He could just say, yeah, it's just taking longer than I thought.
I mean, sure. I think in one of those videos, Logan Paul also said that he was going to sue CoffeeZilla, and I don't think that suit ever materialized. So, I mean, at some point, a lawsuit's going to happen if people feel that they've been wronged. And, the allegations in this suit in particular are, largely focused on things like manipulation. They're saying that Logan Paul and his team manipulated the price of these tokens to make them seem more valuable than they were. And that's the kind of thing where even if, one day they do launch this project and it's, out there, the market manipulation claims are not going to go away. So, even if the lawsuit does end up, the project does end up, launching at some future, date, I imagine this suit's going to continue going forward. It hasn't launched yet is just one aspect of it.